All right. Is that all personnel?
I hope so.
Well, I mean, one thing that was mentioned earlier, and I kind of like it, if there's a position that's been filled and it's not come before the council, I think it probably would be fair to say that's probably not going to fly in your budget next year. We need to notify people of that. That's something
You
we
need
do.
to let me go over your motion again that you wanted put in.
The motion I have is that we need to enforce our ordinance rule that we passed, or our motion that we passed in the minutes, that heads of department must come before the council for approval of the hiring or the replacement of an employee within their department before it can be made, or if they hire someone without that, they're not going to receive a salary until it's before us.
Do we get that as an original motion?
Yeah, that's part
Okay, all right. Okay, anything else need to be brought before the council at this time? Council?
What do you want to deal with his motion?
Was it already in the first one?
Initially.
No, this is,
So
That's what he wanted us to
we
hold
talked
us
about
at.
this and
All right.
discussed it, but we held it over
I'm getting
until
confused where we're at.
later. Yeah, we're okay. We're
All right.
just
Said it
cleaning
one
this
time.
up.
All right. Okay, Randall's motion, we have a second.
A second.
Ben Bowie has made second, it's open for discussion.
Kind of, the only discussion I'm going to say is, or statements I'm going to say is, because I said it in answering Gerald's question a little bit earlier, and I really don't mind you saying, have the department papers coming. Your decision is whether it is to fund the position or not. Who's to really to tell you we need these positions are the commissioners. Under the statutes, if you look at the statute process, department heads are supposed to go to the commissioners and say, I need another person to run the clerk's office, or I need another person to run a recorder's office, or whatever. Okay? I'm just using those for example. And then those commissioners are supposed to come. I don't have any problem. I'm trying to answer that, wait a minute, a while ago I told Gerald one thing, and now we seem to say, hey, bring those people here. Okay, so
Maybe, what about amending that and with the clarification that the head of that department requesting that employee, whether it be a new hire or a replacement, first go before the commissioners, and with the commissioners' approval be brought to us for final decision.
That's what it is now.
That's what it is now.
But it's not being done,
It's not being obeyed.
okay.
And the other thing about it is I stated in there that we would not pay a salary. So if they go to you and they have all the paperwork and they're going to fill a jailer's position or something, and we don't know a thing about it, they're just tough. They're, they've
I
done
think
something.
you'll have I think you'll have two instances where you'll have issue with that. And I think it has to do with emergency. Whenever you classify as an emergency personnel, whether it be somebody at the highway department, we've had this, where we've had a position that we've had to fill, in an emergency situation, to fill position during emergencies, such as snow removal where somebody left or there had to be a replacement. We've had that. And the commissioners have acted on that, and also the sheriff's departments acted on an emergency position there too.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I can understand that, but I can certainly understand also that, with election bearing down 1st of May, that Shirley's an emergency situation for her request. And, I think most of these are
I differ
somewhat
with that.
emergency.
I differ with that because that's not a public safety issue.
May not be public safety, but it certainly is an issue as far as the public concerned. for their right to be able to cast a vote
That's
and to get
very
answers
true.
from us,
Well, now that you're
whether it
talking
be
about the jail,
state or
I
federal
thought that-
law.
Claude called me one day about replacing somebody, and I said, be better to ask the president or vice president. Now, I know we had this emergency deal, but.
But you know, that shouldn't happen, no offense to you, but he shouldn't be just picking somebody and calling them up and saying it. We need to all be informed of what's
Right,
going on
yeah.
there. You know, this shouldn't be
No, this-
going on where just one person knows it. It needs to be laid out publicly. That's a public position to be taken and filled. That's the public's money being used, tax money and money being used. The public needs to be informed of that.
Are you going to have a daily meeting then?
I don't know that that's necessary, David. I mean,
Yeah.
let's not get silly about it.
Well,
We know
no,
that there's,
I'm just
we know
going in
that
there.
there's,
I'm talking about
we-
public safety issues.
I know, but we know there are safety issues. That is a safety department. But that doesn't mean that you have to replace a deputy that we lose today immediately. That doesn't mean that. They can get by. They're like the other offices. They can shift.
If they make a decision of that, they're going to have to share the brunt of proving to the board or explaining to the board how it was an emergency.
That's right. And it needs, you know, and if it is that sort of an emergency, then it needs to be classified. What is an emergency action?
But Randall's right, even if they done that next meeting, they should come and say, this is what happened, this is why I done it.
Correct.
You know, it needs to not be being done behind the public's back.
Right.
And I think it's being done behind the public's back. That is not the way we need to be running things. If we're going to run things and we're going to keep a board and we expect them to follow the rules and we're to follow the rules and we're supposed to be supporting the public as we were sworn to do, they also were sworn to do that. It needs to be above board and public.
Okay. Motion. Do we have a second?
Ben,
Ben, is that your second? Okay, discussion? Okay.
Rhonda, did you have something to say about that? I hear
No, I
you
just-
laughing back
Yeah,
there.
I'm back here, I'm an audience, I'm part of the audience, you know. You guys go ahead and have your discussion.
I know, but I,
And I'm
you know,
glad that you've seen the light
we
to be
don't want-
forward with the public. But I mean, please, don't let me interrupt. Please don't.
Well, that's all right.
Mr. Bills.
I know you like to record
Mr.
this
Bills.
and for the public.
Walk away from this.
Are you?
Walk away from this.
Hey, all right. I know you're not.
Walk away from this.
You're not. You're not nothing except
Walk
just
away
a
from
public.
this.
So if you're not
Walk
going to
away.
okay.
We're out
Walk away.
Call to order.
We're out of order.
Walk away.
Call to order. We'll go ahead. We have a motion on the floor. We have a second. We've had discussion, and that will take this to a vote. The motion is for all personnel, as far as be replaced in department heads, that the department heads have to come before the council and the commissioners, preferably the commissioners first, then the council, for that position to be refilled or new vacancy to be made. That's the motion that's on the floor.
you said preferably, they should go before the
Should.
commissioners.
So you should put the word shall.
I got must.
Our
Okay.
funding,
That was what I made mine.
Did you say funding could be in jeopardy? Did you mention that?
I have will not be funded.
Okay.
Okay. Will not be
You want to
funded.
word it different?
We'll go ahead and take this to a vote. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. All against? Same. Motion carried.